Now, the title may seem contradictory, but I absolutely back it. If you want to get abs, stop focusing on the abs. If you think back to any time in your life, if you've chased after something, most of the time it will run away. If you find a cat and you fucking chase after it, what will it do? It will bolt off like a fucking piece of lightning well away from you. The same can go for, and let's be honest, we've all been through this, the same can go for women. If you chase after a woman, then you will scare them and they will run off. If you chase after money, money will not come to you. If you chase after the abs will not come to you, because the inherent need of chasing something is the wrong way to view and look at it anyway. The reason we would chase something is to fill a void or a lack thereof in our own lives. So realistically, you should never be looking to chase anything, because when you're chasing something and there's a void, why is there the void in the first place? Why do you want the thing? Most of the time, if you want the thing and you chase after it, it's because you need it for some surface level, either validation, support, or instant gratification from people. Most people want the abs so they can take a nice picture with abs. See Exhibit A in front of you. Most people want the abs so they can take their top off and people respect them because they've got abs. The issue is, if that's all you want abs for, you will not do what's required to get the abs. The same principle of, like, the only reason people want money is to buy fucking, like, flash toys with it. You'll never get the money because nobody could give a shit that you want to get, like, flash toys to show off. No one is going to support that mission. No one's going to support you fucking balling round being like, oh, look at me. No one's going to buy your program for that reason, are they? If you, the best tool, like, the best point someone ever taught me about money was, don't focus on the money. Focus on value, focus on helping people, and you will have exactly what you want. And this year has been a prime example of that. Never focused on the money. We focused on results, and then everything we needed came to us, and I literally can't complain in the slightest. If you're new to the channel, well, by the way, welcome. My name's Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this. Now, back to it. The same goes for abs. If you're focusing on the abs, if you're focused on the end body, it's because you're trying to fill a void that isn't there yet. Now, I'm not saying don't strive for it. Obviously, you'd have to set the goal in the first place. But when people only think of end outcome and everything's for the end outcome, it breeds this smelly, short-term, like, quick fix mindset, which I don't know if you've ever been around people like that, but they're just repulsive to be around. They want the thing now, and they don't want, like, all the hard work that comes with it. They want the thing for the sake of, like, showing off the thing to other people, and it's just real weak, smelly mindset behavior. And this video, may ruffle up a few feathers, whatever the fuck, but, like, I feel like this sort of stuff needs to be said, because you'll have a miserable time, very miserable time actually, trying to get abs with just that end outcome, because it's not easy. Obviously it's not easy, otherwise everyone would have it. And people can't stick to it long enough when you've only got that superficial goal to it. So if I'm telling you not to focus on the abs, but obviously you're here to this channel because you want to get in shape, rightly so, how do you then go about it and how do you approach it? Well, it was never about the abs. It was never about the fucking money. It was never about the girl. It was never about any of that shit. All of that stuff is things that you're chasing. You should never chase anything. You should just be the guy and attract those things into your life. Be the guy that helps people, you'll attract money. Be the guy that has his shit together, you'll attract women. Be the guy that has fucking discipline, consistency, is boring, and will stick to something long term, you will have abs. Exhibit fucking A to Z on here. Oh, they all just stuck to the plan for long enough with my guidance, and they all ended up with fucking abs. It's not about looking at the end thing. It's about thinking, who do I need to become and what do I need to do this? And that is universal for anything you're trying to achieve in any domain of your life: health, wealth, relationships, happiness. You always need to look internally, because if you look externally and you outsource that to the person or the thing that you're looking for, you will never get the answers you're looking for. This is why so many people have not figured life out yet. And I tell you now, this is more like the best life lesson I ever learned, but who the fuck am I to tell you the best life lesson? Like, I'm just some guy, so I'll just tell you why you can't focus on abs to get abs, and I'll use that as the vehicle to get this message across. The message is, if you don't look internally and fix you, you will never get any of these things. Like never, never, never. You can wish like fuck. You can chase it like fuck. It will forever run out of your life like a fucking cat. Like it'll almost be like you're trying to push the same end of a magnet together, and it just keep like you can't touch the thing. That's what it's like when you're chasing after something. So going specifically to the abs, because I'm not here to teach you how to make money or get Galdem sugar. How do you go about in this approach? So if you need to get the abs, you want the abs, for whatever fucking reason is down and it's personal to you, you need to think about the person that you need to become. So, and this is a real simple exercise. Think of the best version of you. How would he live his day? You're going to structure that out. I could get mine up for you, but I basically got a timetable that reads what time I wake up, what time I go to bed, and everything else in between. From down to when meal one gets made and eaten, down to what time steps get done, when the work blocks are happening, when I'm training, what I'm training, and everything is mapped out. Because the best version of you would know that. The best version of you would have his shit in a sock and know what to do day in, day out. Because he'd be prioritizing the mission, the goal. He wouldn't be focusing on it. He'd be prioritizing who he needs to become, and that is a byproduct of it. The next thing he would need to do is he would need to be disciplined to that. Now, it's easy to be disciplined for one day, maybe even a week. But if you can't do that over the longest period of time, you're not going to be the guy. You can't just do this once or twice and be the guy. You have to live and breathe it with every fiber of your being. You have to look at the way you need to live to get the abs and think, I'm happy to live like this for the rest of my life. That's the rent I need to pay for the abs. Abs essentially are rented to the point where you stop paying the bill of steps, cardio, proper nutrition, resistance training, 8 hours sleep a night. As soon as you stop paying those rents, they will disintegrate for most fucking human beings, especially in the modern day when it's so easy to eat garbage, it's so easy to be lazy, it's so easy to sit inside all day on our phones. That if anything, it's harder now than it ever has been before. At least back in the day, they had to like just cut about and walk all day, so naturally they were all in better shape. But you need to be okay with what needs to be done to keep it long term. Like you must live and breathe it. So for most of you watching this, if you've never been in shape or had abs, it will feel like you're swimming upstream towards the goal because you're not that person. And let me explain why. If I was to draw this out for you, let's draw this out for you. So, let's say this basket represents the old version of you or / the current version of you, and this basket will denote the new version of you. Now, with this, for the longest period of time, you have stacked habits in the basket of the current version or old version of you. And the rocks in the basket denote habits, okay, for this example. Now, there may be 1 or 2 rocks in this basket, but if you look at the balance and the way it's swaying, your habits are now in the camp. It's swayed in the balance of the old version of you, and the new version of you is nowhere really to be seen. This means that when you start on a plan to try and get in shape, it will feel like a second fucking job. To put it quite bluntly, that's how it'll feel. It will feel like you're swimming upstream, or it will feel like you're running with a rope around your waist, pulling you backwards, or like one of them big elastic bands, and I'm stood here like pulling you back, like whatever the fuck. That's how it will feel. It will feel like a second job. It will feel very, very painful. Now, why is this? Well, your habits are what you do. You also get feedback from the world of your habits, from people, and then from the world in general, to summarize that quickly. Now, because of that, you then confirm how you see yourself by the feedback, by the thoughts you've had, and by the habits that you've done. So you are in this perpetual cycle of think this way, habits, then do this. Receive feedback on habits that then reaffirm how you think. And then for the longest of time, you're in this cycle of mediocrity bullshit, which is fucking awful. So for you to then start to do something completely different, like go to the gym, if you're never really gone to the gym, or you've never really eaten a certain way, like you've always had, like, I don't know, say you fucking Mrs. cooks for you or whatever, and you've never prepped food or weighed food, it's going to feel like really, really alien, and it's going to challenge this. It's going to challenge your status quo where this is what you're used to, this is who you are, this is your identity, this is how you see yourself, and it's going to challenge it, and it's very, very painful. And as I develop myself and I uncover, like, cool, I know how to get abs, cool, I've managed to, like, make my own money out of thin air, cool, that's nice. And then as I navigate more challenges, like how to be better friends, how to be better partners to people, I have to then re-go through this again and again and again, and I'm forever, like, challenging my own identity. And sometimes this will happen when almost life gives you enough signs where it's like, motherfucker, you need to wake up and change some shit here. You've run the same cycle for so long, it's not got you the result you wanted to, and you still try and doing it now. If you have one of those moments, it's really actually useful, because it's almost like you were forced to change and you were kind of like okay about it. But you can save that by just being quite humble in the way you approach through life. Now, I always say to my people, I'm like, you must believe behind closed doors, you are the best thing since sliced fucking bread. Like, you can do whatever you want, and you absolutely should think that. However, that doesn't mean don't be a student of life. Always be willing to learn from other people, but be like an arrogant student where it's like, I know I'm garbage at this thing right now, but I don't plan to be for a long soon, if that makes sense, because I know I'm humble enough to take the info and then get better. That's the way you want to approach it. So, like, confident that you will improve, but have like the door open to take on feedback and actually improve yourself as well. So this happens to me in loads of aspects of my life, and it's the only way you will truly grow. You have to, like, shed layers of your skin like a fucking snake to, like, shed off, like, the layers of who you are as that person at the time in order to grow and become that new person. Like, almost like you have to let go of a certain version of you to become the next version of you, rightly so. And most of the time, you're just letting go of beliefs and mindset, really. It's not the physical, really, that has to go, apart from, I don't know, you like fucking cake and you want to get abs. So this is what would have to be done. So you just need to go in there as a blank canvas. Now, then what you can do is you can start to remove, and it's much easier, by the way, to remove bad habits than it is to start new ones. So the best thing, and because motherfuckers will always say, I don't have time. And I would agree. You probably don't have time, but you need to fucking make time, motherfucker. You need to make time. There's no I don't have time. It's I know you don't have time. No one has fucking time. We're only on this earth for a finite amount of time. Of course you don't have time. But you need to make it, otherwise your life will not change. And if you don't care, then don't do it. But if you do care, I suggest you make fucking time for it. Everything comes down to priority, and put it in order of priority. What's important to you? Like it's 9:16. This video wasn't first priority this morning. Like, bit of introspective work was, so do that first, because it's the hardest task to do. Then go into whatever needs to be done during the day. So at this point, you've removed the bad habits. You're open to change. You understand, I am a humanoid piece of shit. I need to change. And then you're welcome into it. And what you've also done is you've gone through and audited your day and part of your life and thought, where's the clutter? Where's the bad habits going on? So, like, for you, it could be a case of the bad habits are, I'm staying in bed longer than I should do. I'm going to bed later than I should do. I'm not drinking enough water. I'm eating, but I'm only eating 2 meals, and one of them's heavily processed. I'm walking only about 6,000 steps a day. I've been to the gym, but only once this week. I've got these friends that always want to go do this thing. They're kind of not really the best for me. And I'm not saying be a hermit and see nobody, but I'm just saying audit your life, work out what you need to cut out, and maybe for a season, just for a season, not forever, who you may need to cut out. Because unfortunately, some people that are your friends, they don't have the same value as you, and they may be really happy where they are. But if you're not, and they're going to keep you where you are, and you're not going to be happy, then for the season, I repeat, the season of life, it may just be time to just take a little bit of a break away from them. Don't cut them off. Don't say, oh, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Just be like, oh, mate, I'm just focusing on this thing. When I finish it, we'll do X, Y, Z. and it gives you the space and the breathing space to then just like do your thing. I don't know what it's like for women, but for men, we're pretty understanding of this. Like, you don't even really need to formally say that. You'll just do your thing, and if you've got a respectful friend, it kind of just lets you do your thing as well, because you've both got the same mindset, right? So you'll need to do this for that aspect of your life. And even now, I do the same. I think, well, what do I want to achieve, and then who do I need to become to achieve it? Well, if I was thinking about getting a future wife, would I be listening to degenerate music that all they speak about is whacking hoes? I mean, if that was a season of my life where all I wanted to do was just like go for as many women as possible, probably surround myself with that. But if you actually just want to like find a future wife, maybe don't listen to that style of music. I know it's like a weird example, but it's very true. So you almost need to think like, what do I need to cut out? Well, if I'm in the season of my life of actually thinking, right, probably going to be looking at mating soon. Probably going to look about finding someone to grow with. Maybe not going to listen to that style of music because it's not really good for my brain, is it? And the same needs to go with like the people that you're around. They're a bit degenerate. Probably not going to hang around with them much more. This guy's really wholesome. He's got his shit in a sock. He understands life values and where he wants to go. I'll probably gravitate towards him. And it's like obvious when I say it like that, but I think people don't want to sit down and look at their life and be like, well, this is what I want, what's holding me back and who's holding me back, and who do I need to like essentially cut out to move forward? Because it's painful, all right? It is a painful process. It's not comfortable. But then after doing that work, after understanding what you need to cut out, maybe who you need to cut out, where you want to get to, the person you need to become, and then you start to map out what a day is going to look and feel like, you're then going to be able to stack the new habits inside this basket. And it won't take that long, really. I reckon a few months of stacking these new habits and really, getting rid of the old ones, that you'll just start to become part of your life. I find this where I've been to quite a few countries this year, and every time I just I've been there 2 weeks or more, I feel like I've been here forever. This is just who I am and where I'm at the minute, when really that's not actually the case. So you'll be surprised how quick, if you build solid habits consistently, you'll be like, yeah, I always go to bed at 9:30 p.m. every night. Everyone's like, fucking hell, that's early. And you're like, you've been doing it 2 weeks, but it feels like you've been doing it forever. Because the good thing about the brain, for me personally, I'm very quick to forget bad things. Very, very quick to forget bad things. Like bad experiences with people, I can forget them pretty quick. Bad experiences like when I used to be in the army, any like bullshit or like times that were hard. My brain's very good at like seeing the good in a lot of things, which maybe call me naive, maybe I am, but I actually really like that it does that for me automatically. So I don't really hold on to shit for very long, which is quite nice. Now you then stack the habits in the new version of you, and then ultimately this whole platform here is going to change. So it's going to look. Let's delete some stuff out. Oh god, it's gone white. So bright. So bright. So essentially it's now going to swing in the balance of your favour down towards the new version of you. Old version of you has minimal habits stacked in here. And now guess what? When you've got all these habits in this basket towards a new version of you, it's going to feel like you're swimming downstream towards the goal because it's part of you. It's who you are. Like, I'll never be fat again, not unless I'm coming out the end of a bulk, but again, that was intentional, because my life just is set up in a way that it just can't happen. I already move enough. I already train enough. I already know enough of how to bulk cut and do the works of it anyway. So I'll never be fat again, short of like something really bad happening, which touch wood, hopefully that never does. I'll just know I'll never be fat because I'm not that guy. Like, in every fibre of my being, I am a fucking ex-paratrooper, like physical training instructor, guy that gets people in shape. I'm just not the guy that's going to get fat because for every fibre of my being, I love this lifestyle. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to contradict it. But I want you to live and feel that as well if this is your goal to get abs. So I know I've gone a long way around it, but I feel like this is very, very important because once we fix this, now guess what's happening? You see yourself as some fucking athlete. You're like, I am an athlete, so therefore I only go with 8+ out of 10 women because I am a fucking athlete and I want a fit spouse to breed my children with. I don't hang around with these types of people because they're lazy. I hang around with other athletes. and it's survival of the fittest. So I'm not going to hang around with these other people because I'm not being eaten by lions. So then, because you generally believe that, your habits will then confirm that identity. Because again, you're always looking to confirm who you are and gain more understanding about yourself, so you know where to position yourself in the world. The worst thing you could do is strip a man of his identity. Side tangent. I can't remember the year it was, maybe 2018. So 2024, it was like 6 years. Yeah, I'd have been like 24 at the time. We went to Amsterdam and we took mushrooms, and fuck me, they were real strong, real strong. And great for a few hours, funniest day of my life, probably. But then after a while, I started to get confused. And then I almost like forgot who I was as a human being, and I've never felt anything like it. Like, it's almost like I was stripped of everything I knew about myself, and it was the weirdest experience. And that's why I know to speak about this, because I'm like, I understand how important identity is and how you view and see yourself. Ultimately, we had a couple of sugary sweets, and you came back to life. And I'm very, very grateful for the experience, because now I can understand why identity is so important and why people don't want to lose theirs and be challenged on it. So I can then give you the information on how to approach that. So you will then be able to confirm how you see yourself with your habits that are done on a day-to-day. The world will give you feedback on those habits. Fucking hell, seen this guy, great shape. Yeah, seen this guy, fucking hell, gets up 5:30. What, even though he's still smashed it? Yes, still gets up 5:30. Wow, this guy's sick. And then you become that guy. The world gives you that feedback, and it confirms, once again, how you see yourself. It's a great cycle that keeps you in this space of just living and breathing like an athlete. So that is how you're going to get abs without focusing on the abs. It was never about the abs. It was about the person you needed to become to get the abs. And it's the same across every domain of your life. Whatever it is you're looking for in life, whatever it is that you're trying to improve, don't focus on the thing. Look internally and think, why am I not that guy yet? And honestly, if you do that, you will get to the answers, because it's much easier if we think of the answer ourselves rather than someone else trying to tell us. If your mate tries to tell you why you're not that guy, most likely, unless you really trust his opinion, your guard's going to go up and you're not going to take his advice. But if you come to terms yourself as to why you're not that guy, or at the very least, you think about why you're not that guy, you can't get the answers, and then you go asking for them, at least then you're going to take on the information. The point is, you need to think, where is the gap between where I am now, what I want, and why I'm not that person yet? Figure out the character traits you need to develop to get the thing, because that's all. Everything is just down to your character. Whether it's making money, whether it's having good friends, whether it's getting in shape, everything comes down to your character. It's not about the technical stuff to get there, because all that stuff can be taught very, very easy. There is not much difference between one human being to the next, other than effort and time spent doing a certain thing. Like, you must generally believe, if with enough time and effort, you could achieve pretty much everything, right? You should generally believe that, because that's the only difference between any other human being and you. Like, there's no reason why you couldn't have been a world-class boxer if you started boxing young enough and did it for long enough. I think that's a fair thing to understand. Like, the art of physically throwing the punch is simple, right? You're moving your body. You can move your body like everyone else can move their body, but the difference is those people have spent their whole lives, time and effort on that thing. That's why they're so good at it, and it's fucking beautiful art to watch at the time. So you must believe that you can achieve that, but you must be open to change in order to then achieve that. So it's not about the abs, it's about the person you need to become. If you found it useful, subscribe. If you want to work with me, then book a call and we'll take it from there.